I call the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. It is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, 6:06 p.m. Please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a consent agenda, the minutes from the P&Z Commission meeting, August 14, 2025. Anybody have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second motion.
All right, motion approved. Do we need to poll?
You want to poll? No. All those in favor indicate by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Citizens' comments?
We don't have anybody sign up for citizen comment.
Very good. Discussion items. Then we have consideration of and possible action of zoning case. The commission will conduct a public hearing on case number 5191, a request for zoning change from C1 neighborhood commercial to C2 general commercial for the property located at 612 Michael Drive.
So we're all on the same page. Here's how this works. Cases heard at this hearing today will be heard at the March 10th City Council meeting, which is next Tuesday. To achieve a timely and orderly meeting, the Commission asks that the following rules and procedures be respected. Each case will be called in the sequence as listed on the agenda. We only have one tonight. Unless otherwise directed by the chair, all ensuing dialogue shall be directed to the Zoning Commission only. After the staff presentation, the applicant and support will be given an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes each to present their case. Any opposition may then speak for 3 minutes each. At the conclusion of the opposition, the applicant will be granted 3 minutes for a rebuttal. Continuation beyond the speaker's allotted time will be at the sole discretion of the chair. Those who are unable to speak today are encouraged to submit written comments or to sign up to speak at the City Council meeting on March 10th. Following the official close of each case hearing, the Commission will remain in open session to deliberate and vote on the item in question. During that time, no further testimony or commentary will be allowed unless directed by the chair. Then we'll move on to item 2 after the hearing. So for staff presentation, and give me just a second, I'm having to work with some limited technology today. There it goes. Limited technology today, so I'm going to move our camera up and in because I can't get the screen to do what I want it to. So our commissioners can see what we're going to be showing on the screen. Hopefully that'll be good. Okay, so we have a zoning case number 5191. Applicant is it George or Jorge? George, okay, George. And I'm going to butcher the last name, and I don't intend to, and I'm sorry. Figueroa? Okay, perfect. With Uno Real Estate LLC, he represents the ownership, which is Uno Real Estate LLC. Location is 612 Michael Drive. Current zoning is C1 neighborhood commercial. Requested zoning is C2 general commercial. Staff recommendation on this one is a denial because C2 zoning is generally not compatible with immediately abutting A2 residential, which is on the north side of the property. Future land use identifies the property as commercial, but it doesn't indicate whether it's C1 or C2. It just says commercial. So that information there for your, however you want to interpret that. And then the proposed uses don't necessarily align with the CDC strategic development initiatives. So for those 3 reasons are the reasons why the staff recommendation is denial. I believe we sent this out with a staff report to you, so you had an opportunity to review what permissible uses were included within C1 and then what permissible uses were included within C2, which essentially C2 is all of C1 plus some additional. And then applicant did supply, he supplied 2 documents, one of which really isn't pertinent to a zoning request, so we didn't include that in your packet that we sent out today. But the one document had kind of what the layout of the building interior would be. Typically, that's not considered as a part of this process, but he did lay out what the exterior is, which is pretty close to what it currently is today, correct? Perfect. So, do you have any questions for staff before you hear from the applicant?
Can you zoom that back out? I'd like to see the list of what can be.
You're really making me work for this today, aren't you? Okay. All right, any other questions for staff? Okay. So we'll turn it over to the applicant, and you have 3 minutes to talk, and then you get 3 minutes again if there's any opposition speakers, okay? Whenever you're ready. Can you turn the mic on? I'm sorry, and we'll give you a little extra time too, but you're good.
Is that better?
That's better. There
Okay,
we go.
perfect. So I purchased this property about 2 years ago now, and I've had it on the market for lease, trying to rent it out for the actual proposed zoning that it's currently under, and no luck. And so at this point, I've been in the pawn industry for 21 years, so over 2 decades I've been doing this, and I work for 3 different companies. Pawn shops are pretty much considered essential. That's one of the businesses that wasn't closed down during COVID. We lend money to people in need. And so that's the proposal, right? I want to be able to help the community and put this building to use. And so we work directly with the police department, with the fire department. You know, everything's reported legally. There's a lot of misconceptions about the pawn industry, and I know how to do it. I currently operate 11 pawn shops for another company, and so I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Matter of fact, one of them's right up the street on I-35. It's one of the pawn shops that I operate. And so, you know, I want to be able to put a pawn shop in here. And so, and again, help the community, bring that service to the community, because it's around, and it's to keep people from driving out to, you know, other areas, you know, bring it here and do everything properly, do everything through the books, you know, and yeah, that's what I want to do for this proposal and for this property. Is there any questions that you guys might have about the pawn industry in general, maybe that I can answer or clarify?
I think first we need to hear from the opposition, correct?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do have one opposition speaker.
Okay.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. So we do have one opposition speaker, Ms. Miriam Davila.
Good evening, City Manager, Commission and Zoning members. I am here this evening. My name is Miriam Davila, and I live on 1009 Corey Road. I am here tonight to respectfully ask you to deny case number 5191, the request to rezone 612 Michael Drive from C1 to C2. I am not against development. I believe in development in our city and our community is vital. But against the intensity of development, this change invites directly impacting the homes in the neighborhood. Everman is zoning C1 neighborhood, skilled services that accommodate pedestrians, neighborhood environment. C2 zoning allows for medium intensity, diverse commercial uses. Examples include department stores, bowling alleys, gyms, car washes, bars, etc. C2 permits, broader range of uses that typically involve longer operating hours, increased noise, and more intensive lighting than C1. These elements would negatively impact the peace and property values of the surrounding homes. We already have a tire and repair shop as well as restaurants and other businesses that already cause a little disruption throughout the day and some nights with loud noises and items on the property. My concern is whatever the development is going to be. We are near the apartment complex. We are in a neighborhood. It is Michael Drive. It's not Everman Parkway. It's not a main street that will allow complete circulation, meaning if whatever development comes in place, we'll park on the side of Michael Drive, will go into the neighborhood. Whatever development goes in, we increase maybe burglary, people staying around, people looking and seeing what they can do. We're just in the neighborhood. If we were out of the neighborhood, the development would probably fit the criteria for C2 change. C1 already allows us to have, a restaurant, a business coming in, which we're not opposed to that. Our neighborhood is not opposed to good developments, right, for our community. So I believe that with this C2 change, it does create for more things to come in and can cause more disruption in the neighborhood. Instead of being a benefit, it can be a disruption. Probably increase police officer around the area, patrolling the area, especially in the evening time. We have a lot of kids that go to school really close to the schools, that they will be walking through there a lot. So I don't know how that would actually benefit. I urge the commission to consider keeping this location a C1 to protect the integrity, safety, residential quality of our neighborhood, which I am sure that neighbors that are not able to attend this hearing would be in agreement with me. So thank you for your time and for your service.
Thank you. George, would you like to rebuttal?
As far as hours of operations, I already have a business plan laid out. Hours of operations will be between 9 to 7 p.m. As far as the parking situation, that lot, it's right next to the building also, that building. So there's a space next to the building. That whole parking lot belongs to me as well, so all the cars will be parking there if that's an issue. As far as the police activity, everything that is rentable pawn shop goes straight to the police department every single night. So Leads Online is a software that draws all the information that we do. All serials are reported every single time, every single day. It's nonstop. And so as far as that, we actually help with that side of the business. I mean, people, if anybody brings something that's stolen, the police will find it in a pawn shop, as opposed to they just sell it on the street and it creates crime outside. And so that's the rebuttal there for that, for those topics. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have time to discuss it. So from what I understand from the staff recommendation, for the reason for the denial recommendation is primarily due to the fact that there's no buffer between the neighborhood, and from what I understand too, from the opposition, from the neighborhood to what is proposed to be C2, right? And that's my primary concern, right? Because from what George has presented, he's obviously, appears to be a very good operator. Now, the issue is though that this zoning is not just specifically for the operation of your specific business. Once we change it to C2, we cannot guarantee that the future operators will have the same standards that you may have. What do y'all think?
That property used to be like a late night club or something.
Yeah, it was the old Pizza Inn, and then
What was it zoned at that time that they had that after-hours nightclub that they had all the shootings?
It was zoned C1, which by our zoning ordinance allows for dance halls and ballrooms underneath entertainment.
Wow, okay. So if we go C2 and his business doesn't make it, then anybody can come in there and do C2.
Anybody would have a right to open a business by right, because it would already be zoned, anybody under the C2 or C1 classifications, which is always tends to be kind of the common issue that comes up when we hear these zoning cases, is we try not to, well, we can't make decisions as a zoning commission based on a particular business and a business model. We have to make the decision based off the intended permissible uses. So you have to decide whether all of these are okay for you to be considered for this development, including motorcycles, scooter shops, boats, farm machinery, sales, auto rentals, motorhome repair, auto glass, auto repair, car wash, funeral homes, those kinds of things. So there's two phases that go here. The initial phase, when the planning and zoning initially, or had most recently amended and adopted a zoning classification, each one of these business types were put into these categories. And then as applicants, such as George here has come in and applied for, have to try to make sure that they're compliant with whatever zoning has been historically selected for that region. And if they want to change it, you are opening up a door if you change it for any of these permissible uses in that location.
And that's what scares me.
The
'cause I know-
only way outside of that, the only zoning exception outside of that is a planned development. However, properties this small don't qualify for a planned development zoning. So planned development zoning does allow for, it's typically more than 4 acres, and they allow for very specific zoning types that require site plans and everything else in between. But this instance doesn't qualify for that. It's got to be a straight zoning C1 or C2.
Right, and the planning code of it says C1 neighborhood commercial, right? It's in the name itself. It's supposed to be the commercial where it's fine if it's within a neighborhood, right? Somewhere where, kids can walk there and, it'll be fine. C2, general commercial, that's anything, right? That very much, because you have to ask yourself, and how many, I think it's how many feet from the neighboring property? I think like 14 feet or something like that, from the house. So that's like, for me, that's, think about that if for your own home, right? Because we have to remember we're here representing our neighbors. If you had that, pretty much as your neighbor.
The dance hall that they had up there, it was like a nightmare. And I know, I'm not talking about just from the police's standpoint, I'm talking about from the neighbors, all the neighbors, the gunshots, all the stuff going off all night, and that's what's allowed in there now, I guess.
By
So
current,
I can't imagine doing anything to make that possibly worse. I would.
current zoning standard, yes, dance halls would be allowed as long as they meet that definition. I don't want to get off topic because we're going to talk about a zoning change. To change that would require a whole different process, but it is eligible to be changed. But that's not what.
And I do like pawn shops. I hit this one down here all the time.
Could I say something real quick?
Sure, go ahead. You mind coming up, so,
I've had 2 people inquiry about putting a dance hall there already, and because this is pending, I've said no. So that's, that is something that's out there, because I've had people call me already to do, 2 of them dance hall, one of them wanted to put a paleteria or something in the building, but anyway, I did want to say that.
so you've had offers then? Because since you had it 2 years ago?
Well, I put it on the market on LoopNet a month and a half ago, or a month now. And I've
Okay.
had, so I had it on LoopNet before, no inquiries, nothing. Then we had a situation with the builder, with the contractor. That was taken care of. And so I put it back on LoopNet a month ago, and I've already had 2 inquiries about putting a dance hall in there. And so, I've told them, look, I'm going through a situation right now. I'm trying to change the zoning, and so this is my plan. And so if that doesn't fall through, if that falls through, I can call you guys back and talk to you guys then. But that
So you
has
have
been-
other options aside from the
Well,
pawn shop?
I haven't asked for credentials, I haven't asked for anything,
Right.
anything like that, because I had this pending. But, so, that has been an option that's been presented to me already, and it's two different people with dance halls, and a church.
So 2 dance halls, a church, and a paleteria, is that right? Okay.
I think
I have a question. Excuse me, sir. You said you own, that you did, you said you have owner, may not own, but you operate one off of 35?
So,
Where is it located on 35?
so there's a pawn shop on 35, I don't know the address off the top of my head, it's right across the street from the boat, place on 35.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
So, yes, so that's one of the shops that I manage.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
maybe more appropriate for an after conversation, but I would encourage maybe staff to work with George if there's other opportunities if this doesn't pan out. I'm just theoretically speaking here, because this property is within what our Community Development Commission is currently working on as a strategic plan. This property is located within a high development redevelopment zone, meaning that there's opportunities to offer support for other businesses that do fall in with C1 classification, if that helps. So I don't,
So I see what you're saying. If it would be a denial, it wouldn't be a dead end. There would be.
no.
Right.
No, I mean, there's always other options.
Right.
Yeah.
I would hate to change it because you can't go back.
Right. Nobody would, yeah, we can't go
I mean,
back.
You can't go back.
No, that's done. Nobody, yeah.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, as we discussed in other hearings for other properties, that you always have to keep in mind spot zoning. So if you look through our most current zoning map, everything along that area is going to be considered C1 neighborhood. This would be the only designated C2.
Okay.
And so once you open the pathway for a C2, then you do
Everybody else
you
comes
open up,
in there.
you do enable anybody else if they would like to contest, and then you get validation of their case. I'm not saying for or against, I'm just simply stating that that is something that you've got to keep in mind. Spot zoning creates a trend, and this would be considered a spot zone.
Brenda, do you have any comments? No? Would anybody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we deny the request
I second the motion.
to change the zoning.
Okay, got a motion and a second? You ready?
Yes.
All right, all those in favor indicate by raising your right hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. And George, what that means, that doesn't mean it's denied. It still goes before council next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Ultimately, it's the council's decision. That just means the recommendation coming from this board to the city council at the city council meeting next week will be for a denial. Okay? But we'll continue to work with you and communicate with you as we move forward. Sound good? Okay. Your meeting, sir.
Executive session, I don't believe we have any. All right. This meeting is adjourned. It is 6:28 p.m.
We have a light agenda tonight.
There you go, 24 minutes.